What if I told you that some of the most effective medicines are growing right outside your door, in the cracks of sidewalks, the edges of fields, and even in the back garden? For generations, these plants were the backbone of healing, used by soldiers on the front lines, by village midwives, and by anyone who needed relief from cuts, coughs, and aches. Modern science is now catching up with the wisdom of our ancestors, confirming that many of these wild herbs work as well as, and sometimes better than, the synthetic drugs we reach for in the pharmacy aisle. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 20 forgotten medicinal plants that you can find in the most ordinary places and show you how to use them safely. Stay with me, because number 17 has been battling antibiotic-resistant germs for 2 millennia, and number 20 is the original source of aspirin, still thriving in damp meadows today. If you enjoy learning how to take health into your own hands, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe for more practical guides that keep you healthy and self-sufficient. Number 20. Meadowwort, Filipendula ulmaria, the original aspirin meadowwort, with its creamy white, honey-scented blossoms, thrives along riverbanks and in wet grasslands. The whole plant contains salicylates, the same natural pain-relieving compounds that were later isolated to make aspirin. Unlike synthetic aspirin, meadowwort's salicylates are buffered by other plant chemicals, so they ease headaches, muscle aches, and fever without harshening the stomach lining. To make a soothing tea, harvest a handful of fresh tops in early summer, steep them in hot water for 10 minutes, and sweeten with a touch of honey. The tea has a gentle, almond-like flavor and can be sipped 3 times a day during a fever or a sore back. Because the plant grows in abundance wherever water gathers, you can keep a small patch near the house as a natural pharmacy. Number 19. Sassafras, Sassafras albidum. Historic fever fighter, use with caution. Sassafras trees are iconic in North American woodlands, their aromatic bark and roots once flavoring root beer and treating fevers, rheumatism, and digestive complaints. The bark contains safrole, a compound that at high doses can be toxic to the liver, which is why modern regulations limit its internal use. Nevertheless, a tincture made from a very small amount of fresh bark, 1 teaspoon per gallon of alcohol, can be taken as a mild febrile reducer under the guidance of a qualified herbalist. For external applications, steep the bark in water and use the decoction as a compress for sore muscles. The sweet, spicy scent still evokes the old-world charm of frontier medicine, but always respect the dosage limits. Number 18. Barberry, Berberis vulgaris. The ancient antimicrobial barberry bushes sport bright yellow-orange berries and thorny branches that are easy to spot on a hillside. The inner bark is rich in berberine, a powerful alkaloid that modern research shows can inhibit a broad spectrum of bacteria, fungi, and even some parasites. Berberine also supports healthy blood sugar and cholesterol levels. To harness its benefits, dry the inner bark, grind it into a fine powder, and steep a teaspoon in boiling water for 10 minutes. The resulting bitter tea can be taken twice daily to aid digestion and combat mild infections. Because berberine can interact with certain prescription drugs, check with a health professional before adding barberry to your routine. Number 17. Old man's beard, Usnea barbata. The wilderness antibiotic. Usnea, often called old man's beard, hangs from tree branches in the misty forests of the Pacific Northwest. Its silvery green strands are packed with usnic acid, a natural antibiotic that remains effective against many resistant strains of bacteria. The lichen is harvested by gently pulling the fallen strands from the bark, never taking more than a few centimeters from a living colony. For a quick antiseptic wash, crush fresh Usnea, steep it in warm water, and apply the liquid to cuts or minor wounds. You can also macerate it in alcohol for a longer-lasting tincture. Because usnic acid can be irritating to the skin in high concentrations, always dilute before use. Number 16. Yellow dock, Rumex crispus, liver and digestion ally. Yellow dock is a tall, ragged-leafed weed that thrives in disturbed soils and riverbanks. Its roots are bitter, loaded with anthraquinones that stimulate bile flow and improve digestion. A traditional decoction is made by chopping a handful of fresh roots, simmering them for 30 minutes, and drinking a small cup after meals. Regular use can ease constipation, support liver detoxification, and even improve the appearance of skin conditions linked to sluggish digestion. The herb's bitter taste is the very mechanism that triggers the body's natural cleansing processes. Number 15. Oregon grape, Mahonia aquifolium. Skin healer. The evergreen shrub known as Oregon grape bears holly-like leaves and clusters of yellow flowers, followed by dark blue berries. Its root and stem bark contain berberine and other alkaloids that have proven anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects on the skin. A simple salve is made by simmering chopped bark in oil for an hour, straining, and adding a little beeswax. Apply the cooled ointment to psoriasis patches, eczema flare-ups, or minor fungal infections twice a day. Consistent use over several weeks often leads to noticeable calming of inflammation and reduced scaling. Number 14. Red clover, Trifolium pratense. Field medicine flower. Red clover blankets meadows with pink-white flower heads that attract bees and butterflies. The flowers are rich in isoflavones, plant compounds that act as gentle estrogen mimics, making them useful for menopausal hot flashes and mild hormonal imbalances. To make a tonic, steep a cup of dried blossoms in hot water for 10 minutes, sweeten, and sip daily. The same infusion can be applied topically as a compress for inflamed skin, thanks to its anti-inflammatory flavonoids. Because the plant is common and easy to grow, a small garden patch can supply a steady harvest. Number 13. Toothache plant, Spilanthes acmella, instant numbing herb. Spilanthes, sometimes called the toothache plant, produces small, yellow-orange flower heads that release a tingling, numbing sensation when chewed. The active compound, spilanthol, works like a local anesthetic, providing rapid relief for dental pain, mouth ulcers, or sore throats. Simply pluck a fresh flower, chew it for 30 seconds, and let the numbing effect set in. The effect lasts about 20 minutes, buying time until you can see a dentist. The plant prefers warm, humid climates, but it can be cultivated in containers on a sunny balcony. Number 12. Bone set, Eupatorium perfoliatum. Flu fighter bone set is a tall, herbaceous plant with clusters of tiny white flowers that grow in wet fields and along stream banks. In the 1800s, it was a household staple for treating break bone fever, the old name for influenza. The bitter tea, made by steeping dried aerial parts in boiling water, induces a vigorous sweat that many believed helped the body expel the virus. Although modern clinical trials are limited, the herb does contain compounds that stimulate the immune response and reduce fever. Drink a cup of bone-set tea at the first sign of chills, then rest and hydrate. Number 11. Blue Vervain, Verbena hustata. Nerve soother blue. Vervain thrives in moist meadows, its slender spikes of pale blue flowers swaying in the breeze. Historically, it was used as a nervine to calm anxiety, tension headaches, and insomnia without causing sedation. The herb's flavonoids and iridoid glycosides gently modulate the nervous system. Prepare a calming tea by steeping a tablespoon of dried aerial parts in hot water for 15 minutes. Add honey if desired. Sip in the evening to ease mental stress and promote restful sleep. Because the plant is non-addictive, it offers a gentle alternative to pharmaceutical anxiolytics. Number 10. White horehound, Marubium vulgare. The original cough drop. White horehound is a shaggy gray-green shrub that grows in dry, sunny spots and along roadsides. Its leaves contain maribin, a compound that stimulates bronchial secretions, helping the lungs clear mucus. Traditional cough candy was made by boiling a strong horehound tea, adding sugar, and reducing it to a thick lozenge. Modern use favors a simple tea. Steep 2 teaspoons of dried leaves in hot water, sweeten, and drink 3 times daily during a productive cough. The herb does not suppress the cough. It makes the cough more effective at clearing congestion. Number 9. Self-heal, Prunella vulgaris. The miracle weed. Self-heal spreads low across lawns and meadow edges. Its tiny purple flower spikes a favorite of pollinators. The plant is a broad-spectrum vulnerary. It speeds wound healing, reduces inflammation, and disrupts bacterial biofilms. For an oral rinse, steep a handful of fresh leaves in boiling water, let cool, and gargle several times a day for sore throats or mouth ulcers. For skin injuries, crush fresh leaves into a paste, and apply directly to cuts or abrasions. A thin layer stays moist, promoting faster tissue repair. The herb's gentle nature makes it safe for children and the elderly alike. Number 8. Egg syrup, Agrumonia eupatoria. Throat soother. Agrimony is a tall herb with slender spikes of bright yellow flowers that grow on the edges of woodlands. Its tannins give it a mild astringent quality, useful for soothing inflamed throats, reducing bleeding gums, and easing mild diarrhea. To make a throat tea, simmer a few grams of dried aerial parts in water for 20 minutes. Strain and sip warm. The tea's slightly bitter taste signals the body to tighten irritated membranes, providing relief without numbing. Number 7. Plantain, Plantago major. The Trailside First Aid Kit. Plantain is a low-growing weed with broad, oval leaves that thrives in lawns, parks, and disturbed soils. The leaves are packed with allantoin, a compound that promotes cell regeneration, and bioactive polysaccharides that reduce inflammation. For a quick wound dressing, crush a fresh leaf, apply the pulp to a cut or insect bite, and cover with a clean bandage. The leaf can also be steeped in hot water to produce a soothing tea for digestive upset. Because plantain is virtually everywhere, it serves as a portable, no-cost first aid resource. Number 6. Yarrow, Achillea millefolium. The soldier's herb yarrow grows in clumps of feathery, silvery foliage, topped with flat clusters of white or pink flowers. Its aerial parts contain achillene, a compound that promotes blood clotting, and flavonoids that reduce inflammation. Soldiers of old carried dried yarrow to treat battlefield wounds. To stop bleeding, crush fresh leaves and press them onto the cut. The herb's hemostatic action helps the clot form within minutes. For a fever-reducing tea, steep a tablespoon of dried stems in boiling water and sip twice daily. The plant's versatility makes it a staple for anyone who spends time outdoors. Number 5. Mullein, Verbascum thapsus. Lung cleaner mullein is a tall, fuzzy-leafed plant that dominates abandoned fields and roadside verges. Its leaves contain saponins that act as natural expectorants, loosening mucus in the airways. Traditionally, a tea made from dried leaves was taken 3 times a day for bronchitis, asthma, and persistent coughs. Some herbalists also smoked the dried leaves, though modern practice favors the tea. A simple infusion: steep a teaspoon of crushed mullein leaves in hot water for 15 minutes, strain, and drink. The herb's gentle action clears congestion without the side effects of synthetic decongestants. Number 4. Comfrey, Symphytum officinale. The bone knitter. Comfrey is a low to medium height plant with large, hairy leaves and clusters of pink to purple flowers. Its roots and leaves contain allantoin, a powerful cell proliferation stimulant that accelerates tissue repair. Because the plant also holds pyrrolizidine alkaloids that can damage the liver when ingested, comfrey is used only externally. To make a healing salve, infuse dried comfrey root in olive oil for 2 weeks, strain, and blend with beeswax. Apply the ointment to bruises, sprains, or joint pain. Users report reduced swelling and faster recovery. The herb's reputation as a bone knitter stems from centuries of folk use for broken bone recovery, though modern medicine now relies on imaging rather than herbal compression. Number 3. Sea buckthorn, Hippophae rhamnoides. The Himalayan skin healer, adapted. Sea buckthorn is a hardy shrub with bright orange berries that thrives in cold, windy coastal areas and high-altitude slopes. The berries and seeds are rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and the rare omega-7 fatty acid palmitoleic acid, which together support skin barrier function and mucous membrane health. Modern studies show that sea buckthorn oil improves dry skin, eczema, and even protects against radiation-induced damage. Harvest the berries in late summer, press them to extract oil, and apply the oil directly to irritated skin or mix a few drops into a carrier oil for daily use. The plant's resilience makes it a perfect candidate for home gardeners in cooler climates. Number 2. Calendula, Calendula officinalis. The war flower, calendula or pot marigold, brightens gardens with orange-yellow blossoms that have been a battlefield staple for centuries. Soldiers in medieval Europe carried dried calendula flowers to treat cuts, burns, and surgical wounds when sterile supplies were unavailable. The flowers contain flavonoids and triterpenoids that provide anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects. To make a wound salve, infuse dried calendula petals in oil for a week, strain, and combine with beeswax. The resulting ointment can be applied to minor burns, scrapes, or acne lesions, accelerating healing and reducing redness. Because the plant is easy to grow in containers, anyone can cultivate a personal supply of this emergency ER. Number 1. Dandelion, Taraxacum officinale. The universal healer, new opening, dandelion, is perhaps the most ubiquitous wildflower in temperate regions, its bright yellow heads popping up in lawns, sidewalks, and vacant lots. While most people think of it as a pesky weed, every part of the plant, root, leaf, flower, and seed, offers medicinal benefits. The leaves are a mild diuretic and liver tonic. The roots contain inulin that supports gut health, and the flowers are rich in antioxidants. A classic dandelion tea, made by steeping the dried root and leaf mixture, can aid digestion, reduce water retention, and gently cleanse the liver. For skin, a poultice of fresh leaves pressed onto a rash or minor burn supplies anti-inflammatory compounds that calm irritation within hours. Because dandelion grows wherever the soil is disturbed, it provides an always available health resource for anyone willing to look. These 20 plants illustrate how nature has supplied us with medicines long before the first factory-made pill was ever invented. Most of them fell out of mainstream use, not because they stopped working, but because Big Pharma couldn't patent a wildflower, and because modern medicine favored quick-acting synthetics over slow, holistic healing. By learning to identify, harvest, and prepare these herbs, you gain a practical, low-cost toolkit that can support your health in everyday life and in emergencies alike. If you found this deep dive into forgotten healing plants useful, please like the video. Leave a comment telling us which herb you're most excited to try, and subscribe for more guides that empower you to live healthier, more self-reliant lives. Your support helps the channel grow and brings these timeless remedies to more people who need them.